All right, hello everybody. I'm sorry that I am about 4 or 5 minutes late today. I had something to deal with last minute or right when I was about to begin. So we are starting a few minutes late, but I am here now. And I see that some of you are also. I see that Evelyn is here. Hello, Mike. I'm ready for your live. Hello, Evelyn. Thank you for joining. I see Rhea is here. I'm very pleased to join your live lesson today. Thanks a lot. Well, thank you for joining. And again, this is the time that we are now going to do these live videos. They are going to be at this time, which is 3 o'clock UTC. If you're on the East Coast of the United States, this is 11 a.m. But yeah, this is the new time. I announced this last week, and this is also the time that we did the live lesson last week, but some of you may have not seen that announcement or may have not joined that live lesson. So yeah, now you know, this is the new time. Okay, I see a lot more people are here now. I see Rodwa is here. Ava is here. Ava, thank you for getting here, even though I know the time is not ideal for you. Eva Rita Sorvali is here. Thank you for joining. Lydia, Delcamar, Sapito, Guerma. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. Okay, I feel like we've got more people on YouTube today. Usually it's a lot of Facebook people, but now it looks like we've got more YouTube people. Interesting. And Renata, again, thank you for being a YouTube member, and thank you for joining today. So yeah, today we do not have a lesson topic. Instead, I'm just going to let you all ask me some questions, and I will try my best to answer some of them. One thing that I want you to remember is that when we do these live videos, I receive a lot of comments, and it's not possible for me to read all of them. So please understand that I might not see your comment. And even though I might not see your comment if you send it one time, I do not want you to send a comment 10 times. When you send a comment 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, it makes it really difficult for me to read all of the comments. So please don't do that. Please just send your comment once, maybe twice, but do not send it lots of times. If you do that, I am not going to choose your comment because that makes it very difficult for me to read all of the comments. If I can explain this a little bit more, when I see a comment, I know, okay, that comment is up here, new comments are down here. But when suddenly that same comment is down here again, it's confusing because I feel like I'm in the same place that I was in 1 or 2 minutes ago, and it makes it difficult for me to read the comments. So please do not send the same comment lots of times. Please just, if you have a question, ask it once or twice, and understand that you might not get lucky today because I can't choose every comment. But yeah, you're welcome to ask questions about English, how to learn English. You can ask questions about me. You can ask questions about my channel, anything that you want. And we're going to do this for about 30 minutes. Rebecca Pepia, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you for joining. You said it's your first time. Thank you for being here. Muhammad Tala, why can't I send you a comment on YouTube? I'm not sure. Sorry. First question from Guerma. How do we pronounce the word time? So time is pronounced the same way that you pronounce time, like what time is it? What time is it? However, this word time is the herb that you use for cooking, or as British people say, herb, because they pronounce the H. In American English, we do not pronounce the H in herb. So time is an herb, and time is pronounced the same as time. What time is it? Have you seen the time? I need the time for this recipe. Good question. Tongdang from Thailand, hello, thank you for joining. Okay, next question. Is it possible to use much or many in affirmative sentences? Um, so I think some people learn that we can only use much and many in questions, but we can't use them in sentences. And that's not quite correct. So yes, you can. You can use them in affirmative sentences. Many is very common in affirmative sentences. Um, we have many people in this live lesson today. Um, I have done many of these lessons in the past. She has many friends. So yes, you can use many in affirmative sentences. Much, you also can. However, it's not common. Um, it's really not common, and it's only used in specific situations, which, without any planning right now, I don't really have many good examples or a good explanation, but I will tell you this. We do use many in affirmative sentences. It's the same as a lot, but a lot sounds more informal, whereas many sounds more formal, just a little bit. Um, but yeah, we don't usually use much in affirmative sentences, but it's not wrong to. It's just very specific situations. What's correct? Not to or to not? Um, so he asked me not to talk. He asked me to not talk. So the basic grammar that most people learn is the first one, not to. Um, it makes sense because usually we have to be right before the verb: to eat, to talk, to walk, to sing. Um, that's why for many people, to not talk doesn't seem correct. Um, so the standard basic one is not to, not to, not to talk, not to go, not to eat, not to sing. However, I think it's when we want to emphasize or stress, make it very strong, very clear, like extra no. Then we use the second one, to not. He asked me to not talk. However, again, that is not the standard one that we usually use. That's just one that we use sometimes. The normal one to use is not to. Good question. Abdul, thank you for joining. I see your comment and I appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Thank you for commenting. I see the question about writing IELTS essays, and honestly, I don't teach IELTS preparation. I'm not the best person to ask about that. I'm sorry. Um, how do you pronounce homesick and homesick differently? Um, so the first one word, homesick, homesick. And homesick means that you miss your home because you are traveling. Maybe not traveling, but traveling or living in a different place, and you miss your home. You think about it a lot. You want to be there. Homesick, homesick. Um, I think that the stress is on the first syllable, homesick. Whereas homesick, homesick. The stress is not very strong on either syllable, but just listen. Homesick, homesick. Um, the second one, where it's two words, to say that someone is homesick, two words, and there is a little space in between them when you're speaking. Homesick, not homesick. Um, this one means that you are home because you are sick. It's like you didn't go to work today because you are sick, so you are at home. Or you didn't go to school today because you are sick, so you are at home. Um, he stayed home sick today. Um, home sick today. Um, I'm thinking about that. I can't actually tell where the stress is. Sometimes it's difficult just listening. Um, Anyways, for you guys, I'll just read them in a sentence so that you can hear the difference a little bit. So the first one word, homesick. She was very homesick after several months of living abroad. Homesick. The second one, two words. She stayed homesick because she was sick. You don't need to add because she was sick, but I just wanted to make sure that you understood the meaning. Um, homesick, homesick, and homesick. I think that in homesick, where it's two words, you actually kind of really emphasize both words. He stayed home sick. He stayed home sick. Whereas homesick, one word, you hear the first syllable a little bit more. I could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like to me just saying it and listening right now. How to pronounce Switzerland? Yeah, Switzerland. Swit Switzerland, Lind, 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 Zerland, Zerland, Switzerland, Switzerland. Okay, first thing, um, I don't think that you are from Canada. I think that you live in Canada right now. But if you are learning English, you are probably not from Canada, but you are living in Canada right now. But the question, overwhelming. What is the meaning of overwhelming? So when something is overwhelming, this means that there's just a lot a lot of things happening, or a lot of emotion, a lot of something, and it makes it difficult for you to yeah, it's a difficult one to explain. It's if something is overwhelming, it just feels like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. I don't know what to do. It's too much. Um, so maybe if a really busy day at work, you might say that it's overwhelming. You feel like you can't control it because there's too much, and you're going to feel really tired, maybe emotional. Um, and typically, this is a more negative feeling. It doesn't have to be very negative, but usually it does mean that, like, you feel like, "Ah, it's too much, it's too much, I don't know what to do." That is how I would explain overwhelming. Janjira, I see your comment from Thailand, but, that font is a little bit difficult for me to read. Gep Yeah, it's small. Gep Tok Jak One One Wa Valentine, One Valentine, Gep Tok Jak One Valentine. I actually don't know what that means. I can read it, and I understand that it's, something about getting something on Valentine's Day, but I don't actually understand the first part of it, so I'm sorry, I cannot tell you. Um, and yes, I do speak, I'll show you guys the comment. I do speak Thai, um, pretty fluently, but that doesn't mean that I understand everything. So in this question, I don't understand the first phrase, the first two words, but I understand that it's a question about something maybe that you get or collect on Valentine's Day. But sorry, I don't understand it 100%. Can you explain the difference between have to and must? Um, so first thing is I have a video about this. So right now I'm going to find it and I'm going to send you the link so that you can watch it later. Give me one moment, please. So I'm going to find the link for this and I'm going to send it to you all in the comments. Um, oh, I thought that I had a newer video about this, but it looks like the video that I have is actually quite old. Um, One moment. Must have to. Um, okay, yeah, maybe that's the only one that I have, but I'll send you that one. So this video is quite old, but the information is accurate. Sending the link in the comments right now. So this is a video about should, have to, need to, and must. I'm sending the link to this video in the comments right now. I recommend watching it after you watch this live lesson, and that will answer your questions about it. Rodwa, how can we pronounce the word geez? Geez. So the G makes a J sound. Geez. Geez. And geez is something that you say kind of like, gosh, geez. It's just something that we use to show what's the emotion that we are showing when we say that? Geez. It's a little bit of like a not surprise, but kind of like shock or surprise because something is a little bit extreme or a little bit harsh. It depends on the situation, but basically it's something that we say to show a certain emotion. Geez. Um, and again, that's why I'm doing the facial expressions. You can kind of look at my face and see how I feel. Geez. Geez. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of like wow a little bit. Yeah, geez with a J sound. The difference between too and very. So this is another one that I do have a video about already on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. Um, and I recommend searching for that video after you watch this one. But the basic difference is that very means that it's a high level, very spicy, very strong, very beautiful. It means that the level of that adjective is very high. To basically means that the level is higher than we want it to be, or higher than we expected it to be, or higher than appropriate. Um, so if I say that something is very spicy, that means that it's the level of spiciness is very high. But if I say that something is too spicy, that doesn't always mean that it's very spicy. It just means that it's more spicy than we want it to be for this situation. For example, in okay, here. So for example, if I put two, two sounds like two. I won't use that number. I'll use three. If I put three chili peppers in something that I'm cooking, that is not very spicy. But for some of you, if you don't eat spicy food, that will be too spicy for you. It means that the level of spiciness is not appropriate for you. But I wouldn't say that it's very spicy. So basically, two is about the level being appropriate for this situation. Two means that it's above the level that we want or expect for this situation. For example, if I speak this fast, for some of you, this might be too fast, but it's not very fast because I'm still speaking quite slowly right now. But for an English learner, it might feel too fast, but it's not very fast. This would be very fast. I'm speaking very fast now. Example. Hopefully that made sense. And again, you can always search for the video that I already have on Facebook and YouTube. Bunkiat, Sawadee Krap, thank you for joining. What is the name of a company in which the state has 100% ownership? Um, Eva, that is not my area of expertise, but I can find out and get back to you later. You can ask that in the subscriber group since you are a subscriber. You can post it there to make sure that I don't forget. And we're going to do about 5 to 10 more minutes of this, just answering some of your questions. Okay, so I see this question, and I don't have a perfect answer because often I think we use them interchangeably. In many situations, you can use either one. But one difference is that think of is more like remember or something kind of just boop. Okay, now I'm thinking and that thing is entering my mind. Um, so when I saw that painting, it made me think of the time that I spent in that country. But think about is more like analyzing in your brain, understanding it, really thinking this idea. Whereas think of, you can use to say, this thing caused this thing to enter my brain. Again, not a perfect explanation, but quick explanation. I see more questions about IELTS, and again, I am not an IELTS teacher. I have always taught English communication that people can use in real situations, but I do not have experience teaching IELTS. How to sound American. So if you want to sound American, you just need to listen to American people every day and repeat the things that you hear. That's it. Um, If you want to sound British, spend more time listening to British people and repeating the things that they say and repeating the sounds that they make. If you want to sound American, listen to American people every day, repeat the things that you hear, and really focus on saying them exactly the same way that they say them. And you might need to record yourself speaking so that you can listen to yourself and see how you sound and how you can adjust it to improve more. How can we use at and in when talking about locations? There's not a simple answer for this because there are many different ways that we can use them. But this is another topic that I already have a video about on Facebook and YouTube, and it answers the question in detail. So I recommend finding that video. Um, but often, at is more general. It means like that area, whereas in is more like inside, like there are walls around you or something around you. I know a teacher who says that I play football is a wrong and primitive sentence. I want to know where the mistake is. Um, It sounds like your teacher is just judging people because they don't like the way that they speak English, and your teacher thinks that they are smarter than them or something. Or your teacher thinks that your teacher is more sophisticated than other people. Because saying that language is primitive, that sounds like really rude. Like they look down on those people. Like if you speak this way, you're uneducated. And no, that's it's a normal thing to say. I play football. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. That's a completely normal sentence. Um, I have no idea. That's weird. I would ask your teacher the question. Please just ask your teacher because that's wrong. What is more important in learning English? So I assume that this question is about like writing, reading, speaking, listening, grammar. The thing that is most important is the thing that you need. If you need to speak English in your daily life, but you don't need to read or write, then speaking is the most important. If you want to understand native speakers really easily, then listening is probably the most important thing to work on. But if you never need to speak and you never need to listen and you just need to write emails for work, then writing is the most important. Um, don't let anyone tell you this is the most important because they don't know what's the most important for you. Um, Not everyone needs English for the same reasons because we all use it differently in different situations. Before, so okay, last year I wasn't able to understand what you said, but now I understand 75% of what you say. Good, awesome. That's really good. I'm glad to hear that. So, A lot of people don't understand this, but part of the reason that I speak so slowly and so clearly is like if you can understand everything that I say really easily, my videos are not designed for you. My videos are designed for people who have limited experience listening to English. Um, so this is exactly why I speak the way that I speak. Because when I speak this way, there are lots of people who finally start understanding English. And each day when they listen, they get a little bit better. And this is exactly what I want. I want people who at first find it difficult, maybe really difficult, to listen to me even when I am speaking slowly like this. Because if you keep listening to me speak like this every day, you will continue to improve, 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 and you don't need someone to translate everything for you. So, yeah, I'm really glad to hear that. Thank you for commenting. This is another topic that I already have videos about on Facebook and YouTube. So I recommend watching those videos. But the basic difference is that used to, for example, I used to swim, I used to study, I used to drive. I used to means I did it a lot in the past, but now I don't do it anymore. Be used to, or I am used to, she is used to, we were used to, means that we are comfortable with this thing. We have experience with this thing. This thing feels normal to us. For example, I am used to speaking English. Means it feels natural for me to speak English because English is my first language. Um, I am used to hot weather because I lived in Thailand for 10 years. Hot weather feels very normal to me. But yeah, I already have a video about that on Facebook and YouTube, and I recommend watching it. All right, I'm going to answer one more question and then I've got to go, but we will do this again next week. However, next week there might be a real topic instead of just answering questions like this. But honestly, I like doing both of them. I like answering questions like this, and I also like planning lessons. So you all can also leave a comment and let me know which one do you like more. Do you like it when I plan a lesson and teach you things, or do you like it more when I answer your questions by reading your comments? You can leave a comment and let me know. Okay, last question for this video. How do you pronounce the word grocery? So, it depends. It depends. Um, because even in the US, different people pronounce it different ways. Um, so I usually pronounce it with two syllables, grocery, grocery. But lots of people pronounce it with three syllables, grocery, grocery. And lots of people pronounce it with the S sound from the C, grocery, grocery. But for me, I pronounce it with the SH sound, grocery, grocery. So it could be grocery, the way I pronounce it. It could be grocery, not that clear, but grocery, grocery. Or you could pronounce it with the S sound, two syllables, grocery. Or you could pronounce it with the S sound and three syllables, grocery, grocery. And that is probably the most standard traditional one, grocery, grocery. But again, it could also be grocery, it could also be grocery, it could also be grocery. Um, and I think that in the US, the SH sound is probably more common than in the UK, where they I don't think they would make the sh sound so much. I think they would usually make the s sound, sri sri, but I'm not 100% sure about that because I do not live in the UK. And I know you all asked a lot more questions, but again, it's not possible for me to read all of them, and I do not have time to answer all of them. Um, but again, I really recommend searching on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel because I already have lots of videos. And if you just go to the search bar where it has the little magnifying glass, the thing that you look in, and you type in must, have to, need to, countable, uncountable. Type these words there and search for them, and YouTube will show you my videos about those topics. But yeah, that is all for today. I will see you all again at this time, this day, next week. And again, it might be a questions and answers like we did today, and it also might be a real lesson where I plan something. So again, please leave some comments and let me know which one you prefer. Do you prefer the questions and answers, or do you prefer the lessons where I teach you things and then check your sentences? Please let me know. But yeah, that is all for today. Thank you all very much for joining, and I will see you next week.